What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. Time for a match preview. Thought it was going to be tomorrow, but it's today. Is what it is. Please hit a like on the video, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and of course, drop your comments and score predictions when the video's done, and we'll all discuss it now as we are live. There's a few people here now. Just shout out to Mr. P for the super thanks on the last video. Much appreciated as always, and thank you for the continued support. Going to talk about the Leeds Liverpool game. And then obviously there's a Cody Drameh update and also the picture that's caused a little bit of an uproar. I mean, yeah, but I'll get into that a bit later on and then give you my point of view on that. Let's have a look. Leeds is saying, afternoon all, nervous about Monday after Gracia press conference today. Don't believe any changes will take place. Well, that's all we can do, Leeds, is guess, because he didn't give anything away today as is normal. But I mean, there was really nothing much to take out of today's press conference, if I'm being truthful. So it's going to be very, very short on that part. He said that a few players have trained, a few haven't changed. And he wouldn't give any updates on if Verba's going to be playing. He says he's trained a few times but missed a couple of sessions, so it's up in the air. So we really do not know anything about the team on Monday, and that's the truth. So that literally is the update for today. But in terms of general stuff that he was saying, just in terms of, you know, the general, I mean, some of the questions, they're not getting much out of him, so they're having to really ask some of the basic questions. But how important is bouncing back? He was talking about how we've got 8 games left and that this Liverpool game is a huge one, and he's right. It's absolutely a huge game. And I'm glad that he sees it that way, and he sees it as another avenue into 3 points and not just a game that we should look at and tick off the list. He looks at it as a home game that we should be trying to get something out of, and that was very, very good to hear. What other little things? I mean, on Liverpool, I mean, I don't know what that question was about. On the defense, he says it's something that they have to improve. The best thing that is that in the previous games we didn't concede goals and chances. The best thing for us is that they work following the plan and prepare for the game, try as always. So, you know, just your basic stuff there. They obviously analyzed the Crystal Palace game as anyone would have to after that 5-1 defeat. They spoke about trying to improve. And it was about conceding those 2 goals in quick succession that really, like, you know, were like a punch in terms of boxing terms that he said. It said on the Liverpool game, they've all done the hard work this week in terms of getting the details right, paying attention to details. Liverpool, very dangerous. They're organized. The importance of games left is crucial to us, and he pays attention to all the importance of all the points. So, yeah, I mean, literally, guys, there wasn't anything else. Oh, yes, you know, for the people that love it. Hold on, let's have a look. Adam Forshaw is coming back from long-term injury. It's good news for us. We don't have many center midfield options. It's good news for all of us. I'm not sure about that, Javi. I'm not sure about that one. My thing with the Forshaw thing is that he says we don't have many options, but we do. We got JB and we've got Archie Gray. Now, for everyone that says, oh, they're too young, they're not ready, well, Adam Forshaw really and truly should be playing in League One. So we're talking about having a League One player ready, but we don't know what we've got out of these two. And they might not be ready, but they're not going to give us any less than what Adam Forshaw does. And JB, in the games that I've seen him, he's obviously too good for the under 21s. Need to give him opportunities where we can. Because obviously if Rocker, McKennie, Adams are all fit, they play, and it's as simple as that. But in terms like this, where we've got Rocker, McKennie, and maybe one needs to come off and somebody needs to come on, why not JB? That would be my question. Is he not ready? Is he not good enough? I just look at other young players around the league when they're given opportunities, and they take it with both hands. And it just seems like we always keep the brake on them at Leeds United for whatever reason. They always keep the handbrake on them in favor of players that have got no business playing, but it is what it is. Lee saying, I'm in Dreamland. If Bamford is injured, let's hope the injury is a bug which takes out Aronson and Ayling. One thing I will say, because I've had a couple comments like that where people have said, I never wish injuries on anybody, people. No matter how much I want them out the team, I would rather the manager have the grace and knowledge to do it themselves. But I'm not wishing an injury on anyone, man, because it takes a mental toll on these players too. So yeah, I'm not going to join you in that kind of celebration, I'm afraid. Nate here saying JB will be the next drama in the fact that they will show their talent elsewhere. And speaking of you, Nate, thank you for becoming a member. Memberships are in the description, and thank you for the support. And the link for the live match reaction for Monday's game is also in the description. So if you want to go on there and press the remind button so you're with me live on Monday and we talk it through, be my guest and do so. Um, let's have a look. Yeah, Deshaun. League One is a bit generous. There are so many players here, Deshaun, that if a certain man in Bielsa hadn't given them a career, would be plying their trades. It's hard for people to think about because it's all ifs and what ifs, isn't it? But a few of these guys, where we were Midland Championship club. A few of them would be in League One right now. I'm telling you, there would be. But the man gave him a career. They should still be thanking him today. Um, Matt here saying JB would more. Okay. JB would get more minutes if we weren't in this predicament. I'd love to see him in the middle, carries the ball well, and is more mobile than Rucker. He's got plenty of attributes that I see could translate to the Premier League, Matt. But until we see him get game time, we just don't know, do we? That's always the problem. What I would say is, if we weren't in this predicament, there's Lavia at Southampton who are bottom of the league, and he is balling out. Like, he is literally standing out above anything that they've got in that team. And the reason why so many other clubs are looking at him, there's always a way of getting these players in the team if you really want to. And I think that he's been worthy of it in times where we're down on central midfield options. So I think with Grassi saying what he said today, he kind of doesn't think he's ready. And that's on the coach. That's on the coach. If he doesn't feel he's ready, fair enough. But I just don't see how you bring in Adam Forshaw and think that that's an improvement over anything else. I just don't see it. Just don't see it, man. But yeah, changes. I mean, we don't know, as Leeds said earlier, we don't know if there's going to be any changes. But for me here, Jamie is saying, who's your back four for the Liverpool game? Obviously, if Verba is back, Verba comes in. It's Firpo, Verba, Robin Koch, and against all everything what anyone says, Christensen for this game. I do believe you have to set examples on players when they're out of form, no matter who they are, and take them out the firing line. So I would put in Rasmus once again, just for people that I think Rasmus is like this world beater. I don't. I just feel like he deserves an opportunity now to see if he is going to be any better than Luke Ayling at that position. So it's a thing for me is I don't feel that we need our right back to go forward, which is what Ayling kind of does for us, and then doesn't get back in time. I think it's more of a case of we need more of somebody who's defensive minded, and Rasmus just does not go across the halfway line, does he? So unless he's put on a sub and he gets a couple goals, but from the start, for me, I would put in Christensen, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be Luke Ayling, and like I've said before, if that's who he wants to pick, that's fine. But just like previous coaches, every coach lives and dies by the sword that they by their selections. That will be on him. We can only hope that the extra couple days has given Ayling a bit more time to, I don't know, take some stuff in, do some more work or whatever it may be, decompress from football and just concentrate again, because it just hasn't been good enough. But yeah, that would be my back four. I would start Rasmus just for, I know he's got his faults, but I've got to see some different faults right now, because the other ones are just blowing my head up. You know what I mean? They're just blowing my head up. But in terms of other changes, Rodrigo in for Bamford straight away. No questions asked. Nanto starts for me. We're going up against a Liverpool here, where for me their strongest areas are always going to be their attack. So it's going to be like your Salah, even Darwin Núñez, as hit and miss as he is, he won't have to do much to get goals in this game if he bypasses our defense. So yeah, so for me, I'll be putting in Nanto there. I believe we need more agility. We need more runners. We need more fluidity up front, instead of just this head down, just running forward, trying to just bulldoze our way through with like Aronson and Harrison that they mainly do. They're different kind of players from the tricky players. I would keep Cine in there too. So I would go for a little bit more guile in this game to try and get around Liverpool. I think it could work. You know what? The whole thing about Trent, by the way, I know a lot of people are going to be, I mean, even here, Nate here, Nanto versus Trent, we win by 5. Trent isn't as bad as everyone is saying, but this is the problem that happens in mainstream media. It happens all the time. When one narrative goes, it just snowballs. Now, all of a sudden, he's the worst defender in the world. It's not that. It's just that they're having to play different because they haven't updated their personnel. Something I told my Coppish boys a couple years ago, that they need to update the personnel, but they didn't want to hear it. You know, they were still living on the gravy train. But it changes. Liverpool's way of playing isn't a secret. If you watch them play, it's no big secret. Their attacking fullbacks are the creators. Their attack is the other finishers, and the three in midfield that they employ are the other dogs in the midfield that try and get the ball back. It's not a big secret. But obviously, when a couple of those cogs now have gotten older, Milner, Henderson, Fabinho, who looks like he's about 37 these days, it affects the rest of the team, because now Henderson isn't going over to Trent's side as much to try and cover. So they have flaws in their team, which is why they are where they are this season compared to previous years. So Trent, as for me against Cine, I think that would be a good battle, or even Nanto out there. I think it would be good. But I think you could even play Nanto centrally and take out Aronson. But I don't think he's going to drop Aronson, because for all the non-goals that Aronson isn't getting, I think he's already said he likes him because he presses from the front. So yeah, Nate. I mean, I've said it before. Their midfield might be worse than ours right now. I would not swap our midfield for Liverpool's midfield. Now they may address that in the summer. I think they will do, by all the reports being said. But I would not swap our midfield out for theirs. Their midfield is horrible. When you really think about it, it's horrible. But because it's got the Liverpool name on it, people don't really deep how average that midfield is. So I'm not really worried about that kind of midfield battle. Nothing in there worries me. Thiago is a very good player technically, but he's hurt a lot of the time. You know, Fabinho has fallen off a cliff. Henderson, I've never rated Henderson on the ball, but what he used to do was give him a bit of energy in the midfield. Harvey Elliott, I mean, that's not Liverpool, man. That can't be what Liverpool are banking on for the next 10 years to try and win them championships. It can't be. But that's what I'm trying to say. There's ways. That's why the game isn't so as daunting as it is, even though we lost 5-1 against Palace, and it does probably look a little bit different. Thomas Lahr here saying Somerville has to come on at some point. Yeah, I mean, Somerville was very key. And that was another thing as well. They asked in the press conference about, do you take anything from that Liverpool, when we beat Liverpool at Anfield, into this game? I mean, it's two completely different games. I mean, Somerville was on a roll then in terms of getting goals. He's not so hot right now. So a few things have changed since then. You know, I mean, I just don't get those kind of questions, but that's just me. Um, Josh here is saying it's shocking how little time Cine and Nanto have spent on the pitch together. To allow that to continue would be criminal. Yeah, this is why I say, Josh, at the bottom end of the table, we have some weapons that other teams don't have down there, and we're not using them. You know what I mean? I've already given my thoughts on the Nanto thing in the last video in terms of how he's been used since Gracia's been here. So check that out if you haven't. Um, but there's I don't think there'd be any other team near the bottom of the league that would have Sinistera, Nanto, Rodrigo, who's got 11 goals so far this season, people, and not use them all. It doesn't make sense to me. Instead of going with goals and assists, you're going with workhorses. I don't get that personally, but you know me, I do like my tricky footballers, but it just makes sense because they're not just giving you tricks, they're giving you output as well. Bradley here saying Cine is always injured. Yeah, but he's not injured now, is he? So he's being played at least. Chris is saying Cine, Nanto, Harrison behind Rodrigo. If Harrison is having a mare, swap him for Rutter and put Rutter behind Rodrigo. Yeah, I mean, even that, give Harrison another go. I know he wasn't good against Palace in the second half. I know he wasn't. He was not getting any change out of Tyreek Mitchell. But again, this is on Harrison now. You signed a new contract. You've had a bad game. Let's see how you get on in the next game. All right, you've had your 4 games of, or 3-4 games of getting your goals, assists up for the season. Let's see what you do now with the next game, and if he does have another nightmare, as you say, substitute him off, and it better be at a timely manner as well, like the 60th minute, like you keep doing for other people as well. And Nate again, the Nanto Somerville connection. Yeah, I mean, it was doing so much good stuff for us, wasn't it, before the international tournament? Let's see if they can rekindle it. Let's see if we can rekindle it. But put your best players out there on the pitch from the start, please, please. Robin here saying Liverpool have only won 3 games away from home all season. Can we exploit that? We can. We can. We can definitely exploit it. Um, but we have to be on it. Let's not make any mistake. Liverpool are where they are, but we would kill to be where Liverpool are in the table right now. So they still have quality in there, and this is what I'm talking about, where everyone has to be on their job. Melier as well. I'm going to say this now. Darwin Núñez is guilty of missing a lot of chances this season, and it's because he's usually trying to get the corners. He's usually trying to place it in the corners. He doesn't just hit them; he tries to curl them in the corner. If he goes up against Melier and does a couple of his shots, he won't have to curl them so much in the corner, and that's an issue for me. Melier has to be on it in this game. He has to impress in this game, has to be better with getting something to it and keeping it out, not just getting something to it and it's still rolling in the goal. I'm sorry, it has to be better. We keep talking about the defense have to be better, but sometimes our goalkeeper has to be better. And I've said it so many times here, and people think, oh no, you can't say nothing against Melier. Yeah, I can, because he has to make some saves. You know what I mean? Even in the Forest game, I mentioned it very briefly because I didn't want to labor on the point. But even though Ayling was at fault for giving away the ball twice in succession, it was the first shot on goal and it went in. Something I've said how many times this season, people. Melier has to be on it, because if Darwin Núñez is firing and he's not quite hitting the corner, there's a chance they could go in. Uh, Danny here, do you think he will set up like he did against Brighton? Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those Brighton Arsenal kind of setups, even though we're at home. So I hope people are a little bit patient with it, but because it would be criminal. Liverpool, they play high for a reason. And if Salah gets behind, again, people talking about Salah this season hasn't been as good. All right. He might not be as good as the previous years, but he's still in the 20 goals. You know what I mean? I wish we had a few players that weren't as good and still got 20 goals. You know, one of them. You know, it's funny, isn't it, how subjective football is. But if he gets in behind, there's a chance that he will punish us too. So we have to be on our game. And I think that the setting up on a counter attack is probably the best bet. And I think Javi Gracia will deploy that method. Um, Yeah, Ian here. Put our best players forward. Give us a chance, for God's sake. That's how I feel, Ian. That's how I feel, and that's why when I look at team sheets and I see Nanto, Rodrigo on the bench, I'm like, how? Like we're not mid-table. We're not safe. We're not rotating for Europe or anything else like that. We're not in any cup competitions. Why are they on the bench? It makes zero sense to me. But I'm not the boss. We're not the boss. We're just fans. That's all we can do. We can only give our opinions. Yeah, Gavin. No worries, Monday. Adam's back. I mean, it's insane, isn't it, that we talk about Adam Forshaw in the Premier League? Insane. But okay. But Bradley Pickles here. He says he doesn't agree. Setting up like we did against Arsenal is just a ticking time bomb. They'll score and then we'll end up chasing the game. Yeah, I mean, Bradley, there is a chance of that, but hopefully nobody concedes a silly penalty or gets sent to the shops and then sticks a leg up and concedes a penalty. Yeah, there's all Brad is right in certain ways. There's always a chance, but I do believe, and I still believe in that Arsenal game, that if we kept it at 0-0 up until 50, 60 minutes, he would have then made a change, and then we would have come out our shell a little bit more, because then Arsenal would have been more panicky. There would have been more, why aren't we in the lead yet? The crowd would have been on top of them a bit more, and they would have made a change and maybe left a gap somewhere. But because we give them a gift, it played out like just how Bradley's saying here, where we then ended up chasing the game. But I do agree, though, that the counter attack against Liverpool is probably the best method overall. But Bradley does make some good points there. Daniel here saying, I feel like Bamford's got a better relationship with Javi, as I've seen a few videos of them, but I agree Rodrigo needs to start. Well, then that Daniel, that then for me is another indicator of him not being the right man for this job. I've said it so many times before, and I'll say it again. I don't want anyone who's pally with certain players. I don't want anyone that bows down to fan opinion for their old favorites. I don't want someone like that. I want someone who's headstrong, who picks the best team possible. And I don't watch the training videos, full disclosure. I don't watch those videos. So you're probably correct. But for me, it shouldn't matter about your relationship like that. It should matter what's happening on the pitch. And Rodrigo is the finisher. He's the one that's been getting us goals, kept us in games, given us points this season. He deserves to start. He deserves to start. Caspadinho saying, I'll take one for the team and play right back for this one. No worries, guys. Yeah, I know. I hear you. I hear you. Well, listen, and that's it. I mean, is there anything else in regards to this game that you want to go through? I think now we should get to the score predictions. And then I can move on to the other subjects in the video. What do you say? Yeah. Nate, I would take Gallardo. I would absolutely take him. Absolutely. Yeah, Nabino, it could be both, and that's why I always question: are the board ever going to appoint somebody with a strong head? I don't know, but yeah, let's get yeah, ST. As a wise man's once said, it's not looking good, Brev. It's not. But you never know. You never know. All right, Cesar is saying 1-1. Aine's going 2-2. Jamie's going 2-1 Leeds. That'd be good. Lewis is going 4-0 Liverpool. Goddamn. Caspadinho's going 5-0, all five by Adam Forshaw. Oh Lord. Bradley's going for 2-1. 2-1. Yeah, Matt's going for a 3-1 loss, as is Ian. And of course, prove me wrong. Of course. Glenn is saying 3-0 to Liverpool. Baba's saying 3-0 to Liverpool. Wow. So yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag. Couple draws in here, and obviously put your score predictions in the comments as well after the video, please. And if you're watching the replay, yeah, for me, I've had this score in my head for a while, so I'm just going to go. It's 1-1. I think that's maybe being optimistic after losing 5-1 against Palace. I just hope that the team do what they've done, and being fair to them, they've bounced back in situations like this, haven't they? So I'm hoping that it's going to be a 1-1 draw. Well, not hope. I want 3 points. That would be lovely. But 1-1 draw after a 5-1 defeat against Palace, I would accept it against this Liverpool team. I know they're not in the greatest form, but neither are we. Neither are we. So, yes, 1-1, I would take that. I would take that. And if they can do better, awesome. Awesome. We'll celebrate together. Right. So, yeah, next on the docket. Speaking of team and everything else like that, and it's quite an important part to our team, because for me, it's at this point in time, it's our weakest position in our whole squad, the right back position. Fabrizio Romano, transfer guru, and he's very good with this stuff. Give us an update on Cody Drameh. So here it is. Luton Town are heading towards the playoffs. They are. I didn't realize how high they were. Fair play to him. Fair play to him. Cody Drameh has a year left on his left. Cody Drameh has a year left on his deal at Leeds. They could be open to sell a player that can agree a free transfer in January. So what he's saying is that come January, in European teams can go for him, and we know that there's European interest, especially from the Bundesliga, in Cody Drameh. So instead of losing him on a free, they may look to sell him in the summer. He is likely to make a decision on his future right after the playoffs. Now, and this is something that I've been saying. So let's talk this Cody Drameh thing and our right back situation. We have given Luke Ayling another year extension after two decent performances against Man United, and we're on the block to possibly selling Cody Drameh, who we don't know could have been one of the long-term successors here. We don't know. Nobody knows. And I mean, again, this just shows you, unless we've got a plan in place to get another right back in, if we're going with the same two again next season and we do happen to stay up, we're in for this battle all over again. We're in for this all over again next season, because it's appalling. But what I've said about Cody Drameh, is that very thing, what we've just read out, is that just because he'll be back in the summer doesn't mean he's going to stay. And the reasons are the two previous coaches haven't played him, and there's been reasons to play him and give him an extended run or opportunity, and he probably doesn't feel like it anymore. He's like, I've heard this all before, so I'm not going to risk it again with another coach with a year left. Sign an extension, by the way, because that's what he'll have to do. He'll have to sign a new deal, and then you get shafted again. If I was him, I would probably be looking to go. I'll be honest. Yeah, Lewis, exactly. Go Drame, run, Drame, run. If Ailing is starting over me, I'd leave too, 100%. And I wish and I hope other people see it that way too. This isn't about a young kid who's not being patient biding his time. He has literally seen two disasters at right back throughout the season, and he's not been able to get a run at all. Not one time. I would be leaving. I would definitely believe in. Now, I don't know if there's anything in the Serginho Dest thing because I've seen that Milan aren't going to take the option up. He hasn't played since January, and we are building a little bit of an American contingency here. I don't know if maybe we're going to go for Serginho Dest from Barcelona. It seems too on the nose and obvious to me. Maybe he's an option that we'll be going for in the summer, maybe on loan with view to a permanent move. We promise we'll pay you. But there has to be other options, and if Drame is on his way out, then oi, we need to be seeing another one of these two going and another one coming in. Um, let's have a look. Yeah, Deshaun. Deshaun here saying it's peak, but I'd be gone if I was him, 100%. And I'll be other side too. Matt here saying three managers now, not fancy Drame. Hard for us on the outside to know why. Yeah, it's not hard, is it? I mean, with one of them, he was loyal to the promotion guys. With the other one, he brought in his own and really wanted it to work up until his last few games, where he realized he's not working. I might have to put Luke. I've got to put Luke back in. So I can see what you're trying to say there, but if you remember the one before Bielsa, he was very loyal to his players, wasn't he? And if they were fit, they were always going to play. But Nate here saying, as an American, no way on Des, he's a worse defender than Ailing. I don't think he's worse than Ailing, Nate. I know what you're saying, though. He's not defensively like outstanding, but going forward, he's way better. He's much, much better. Um, but I'm just saying, I'm not saying like Des would be my first choice. I just think that it kind of makes sense with him being unwanted both at Milan, where he is now, and Barcelona, his parent club. I can just see Leeds swooping in, but maybe we'll see. We'll see. Um, yeah. Nate just following up. Yeah, he's a freak offensively, defensively, he's garbage. I wouldn't say he's garbage, but I know what you're saying. He does have deficiencies there, but you know what? The bar is so low where we are right back that he would be 100% improvement on what we've got. That's how low the bar is. That truly is how low the bar is. Um, yeah. So yeah, Tom here, Carl Walker Peters. If we stay up, yeah, I would certainly take him. It- and he can also play left back as well if needed. But I don't know. I think we need to go a little bit higher. Otherwise, we're going to be keep on staying in this same position year in year out. So I'm hoping that there's somebody else they've got in mind. But Carl Walker Peters wouldn't be a bad option. I think he's a really good player, but I would probably like someone a little bit, just a little bit better, just a little bit. Because even he got replaced when Livramento got in the team, and Livramento has been injured long term, and he's really, really good. Like Livramento is somebody I would like. Obviously, we need to see what he's like after his injury, but yeah, I do like Carl Walker Peters, but yeah, we'll see. But the right back situation at the moment, it's all up in the air, isn't it? It's all up in the air. Um, no, no, this Milner, no, no, Milner's finished, man. He's literally finished. No, absolutely not. But yeah, all right. So yeah, that's the Cody drama update. Now, I'm gonna talk about the picture because the picture, a couple of you left comments, and I've even got a screenshot from Gary Hillman because he kind of says a lot of what a lot of people like with his point of view kind of say. So I've kind of got his in caption, and it's on my public comments. So I've used it, Gary, and I know you're a regular viewer, so shout out to you. And by all means, I'm not trying to flog you here. Um, but the picture in Monte Carlo, the one where I think it was who was it? Was it Firpo? It doesn't matter who it is, Firpo Sinistero, whoever it is out in Monte Carlo, right? Now we've just lost 5-1, and there's people outraged with this, certain people with their selective outrage. And the short answer to this is don't pocket watch other people. I've said that how many times on here. That's why you hardly ever hear me talk about player wages. Don't pocket watch people. People in whatever tax bracket they're in live to their means, and they do so because they've obviously worked hard to get there, or they've found breaks or luck to get there. Whatever it is, they're there for a reason. So don't pocket watch. That's the short one, but I'm gonna have to give the context one because I need to get my full thoughts on this one because the trip itself. Let's talk about the trip. It could have been pre-planned, right? It could have been pre-planned and they were due to go, or it could have been something where we're hearing that there's discontent in the dressing room. How about a team bonding trip? Now, is it bad that they went to Monte Carlo, or would you want them just to go out to Wakefield? Is that what you would have preferred? People that are angry with it, I should say. Things about training as well. They could have had their off day cancelled and done an extra session the next day, maybe done extra video work. And this is it, Bradley. This is where I go with it. People just jealous they're able to afford to fly out to Monte Carlo instead of driving down to Blackpool for a break. And this is it. This is 100% it. For me, these kind of things always come down to if I can't do it, then no one else can. Because essentially, what you're talking about here are employees of the football club. They're not fans like you and I. They're employees. So yes, they may be disappointed or something after a 5-1 loss, but they won't be gutted like fans are. So if you're saying that they can't go, what if you as a fan have got a holiday booked? Are you not going to go because you're gutted? Are you going to wait until the next game? You're not really, are you? So why should an employee of the football club do so also? Do people expect sports people to sit in dark rooms and give themselves lashings and say, should have been better in last game? I was terrible. I got to wait till the next game until I do something happy. I mean, how far do you take it? If their kid gives a smile, their first smile or first step, I would celebrate it, but we lost 5-1, so I'm going to be miserable. How far do you want to take it? That's an extreme example, but what I'm saying is stop pocket watching people. It doesn't matter where they are. Now, listen, totally different scenario if they're caught on video doing some things that they shouldn't be doing, right? Or if they've got 20 pints on their lap mid-season, 20 pints on their lap mid-season, and you go, are they really taking care of themselves? They were just watching a tennis game as from that picture that I saw. Obviously, if they're doing extra curricular activities, yeah, then you've got something to say. Then there's something you can raise. And that's more for their own health as well, by the way. But the comments that some people were making, for me, it does scream of the have-nots versus the haves. Um, and also about, give away a week's wages. Always easy to say when you don't have the money to do it. Yeah, if I was in that position, I would give my week's wages to the charities or I'd give it back to the fans. Okay. But what about that week's wages that contributes to your high um like mortgage that you've got and every other expense that you got? Like I say, you live within your means on certain budgets. Now, I always say this as well. When you've had a bad day at work, yeah, when you've had a bad day at work, say you've done 5 spreadsheets wrong in the day on a Friday, you've submitted them wrong, and your boss gone, oh, you've messed up the day for us, man. We're gonna have to fix this Monday. On Saturday morning, do you wake up? Your kids are downstairs, your partner's downstairs, and they're, hey, let's do something fun today. Do you wake up and go, you know what? I messed up some spreadsheets yesterday. I'm gonna spend 5 hours today and do some spreadsheet training. You don't do that, people. Come on now. And if you do, I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry for you. Do you see where I stay on this side of the argument? I think it's pretty clear, isn't it? I think it's pretty clear. I'm a fan. I went to see Limp Bizkit Wednesday. That was planned. I'm disappointed with the result that we had. Does that mean that I shouldn't have gone to the concert and had a good time? How far do you want to take it, people? This is what I'm saying. And also as well, that Gary here, and shout out to Gary. He's a good guy. I know he's a good guy, but they've been let out there, but they're not 6 to 7 hours a day in training. Okay. So now you want the players to go in for training for 6, 7 hours a day. Then when Monday comes and they're tired by the 30th minute, the same people will be saying they're knackered by the 30th minute. What happened? Guys, Simple answer is stop fucking watching. Long answer is just what I've given you there. Now you can have a difference of opinion. That's cool, but it really is nobody else's business. What people do with their free time, their money, whatever it is, no one else's business. Just like I can't tell you, no, don't spend your money on alcohol after you've had a bad day at work. Go again. Do extra hours at work. Can't do that. But yeah, hey, Jamie, they were brilliant, man. If you haven't had a chance to see them, I hope they're back soon as well. By the way, John Otto on the drums is an absolute monster. What a drummer. Oh, but yeah, they were magnificent people. Yeah, I had a brilliant time. And shout out to everyone that replied on Instagram to the videos I posted of the Limp Bizkit and the terrible Bamford joke I posted as well. I appreciate that. You know, kept me giggling. I thought it was funny anyway. You know what it is. You know how it is, you know. But yeah, so follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. Same name, KG Vision. But yeah, that's my thoughts on things like that. Okay. All right. So that is it. That's where I stand on it. I'm sorry. I just don't subscribe to watching other people's pockets. Um and I think that is it. I think that is it, people. Do I have anything else on the docket? Let's have a look. Yeah. No worries. Oh yeah, also and just another thing from Gary, just about going over things over and over again. Just another thing as well on the human side. Even when you know you've done something wrong, say you've had an argument with your partner and you know you're in the wrong. She's told you or he's told you twice in 10 minutes about how you've done wrong. You go, yeah, I know, you know, you're right. But if it's an hour later and they've told you eight, nine times, it's going in one ear, out the other. Attention spans. Go with that as well. But listen, people. There's a Gordon White is saying, I think you're very measured in your assessment of the lads break. The negative opinions of certain players do wind me up. Yeah, yeah. Like somebody said also, I mean, they said it before I could get there. I think it was Bradley Pickles, but it's the have and have nots. You know, we all like to think that if we had 20 million in the bank, that we'd give 10 to charity, we'd give, you know, 5 to various family members. But the fact is, until you get to that position, you just don't know, do you? You just don't know. Um, Bradley, you know what? I'm gonna say it, but it was just funny by picture because there's a train station called Bamford, and I just simply said, I've just seen Bamford at the train station. That's it. See, it sounds crap when I say it out loud. The picture was much better. Oh, pop myself, pop myself. Slow, steady, Steve. You know my wife, KG. Hey, listen, it happens, isn't it? You know the drill, Steve. You know the drill. Uh, but yeah, Lewis here saying psychology with KGW. I appreciate that, but I'm going to leave it there, people. Like I say, drop your thoughts on anything discussed on the video today, especially your score predictions for the Liverpool game, what you do with changes, the Cody Drameh news, and if you want to talk about the picture, do so. But really and truly, it's a non-issue. But if you want to discuss it, please do so. Smash a like before you go. Best way to help out the channel. Subscribe, everything else like that, and I will see you Monday, people. Peace out.